talk about self-efficacy theory. Even though it sounds like self-esteem or self-worth or even self-confidence, self-efficacy theory is quite different. In the 1970s, social behavioral psychologist Albert Bandura developed this theory, and self-efficacy can be defined as the degree to which you believe that you can successfully accomplish a specific task. I love how this relates to mental health, because anyone who's been to a therapy session knows that the whole point of that session is to guide you towards tasks that you can take home with you. Your homework for the next session, the coping skills to work on, just any actionable step you can take towards improving your life and overcoming the things that you're struggling with. When we talk about self-efficacy, we can be high in self-efficacy or we can be low in self-efficacy. And this varies for every person because it is task-based. Those tasks towards which we experience low self-efficacy are those ones that we are more likely to avoid in any way that we can, or towards which we don't have much motivation. But there's good news, because we can overcome. We can increase our self-efficacy through mastery experiences, vicarious experience, through receiving encouragement, and through managing negative emotions. I have struggled with social anxiety for the past 10 years, and I've attacked it from every angle that I could. When I recently learned about self-efficacy theory, I loved being able to reflect on my experiences using this new perspective, and now I even approach new problems and new obstacles using what I've learned. The experiences in my past that have helped me learn and grow to this day in this really rough journey have been successful, and they've been unsuccessful. But even the unsuccessful ones, I deem them successful. I'm very proud of some of the hard things I've accomplished. When I think back to where it all started, I know that I had a great friend group in elementary school in Nebraska. When I was 10 years old, I was uprooted and our family moved to Utah. This was an exciting journey, but I wasn't really prepared for how adrift I would feel among my peers. I wasn't able to find my people. And at this time, entering middle school and high school, I was also beginning to understand that I am what is called an introvert. And what this means is that I love people. I just don't like being around them for extended periods of time. Even if I'm enjoying the activity, I run out of social battery around 1 hour. And after that, I'm floundering. And without coping skills to know how to deal with that, I started to see parts of my introversion, but I started to perceive them as wrong, as just different and weird from other people. I would watch the social climate shift around me in my small town high school and feel like I was a puzzle piece that just didn't fit. And so the mental symptoms of social anxiety became readily apparent: racing thoughts and just constantly doubting myself and comparing myself and worrying about every little thing, just anticipatory dread of any social situation. The physical symptoms began to show up later, and I'm sure that I experienced them all throughout high school, but the first time that I really remember feeling those physical symptoms and recognizing them for what they were was on my way to a baseball game. And this was a special baseball game. It was the end of the year baseball game after my senior year, the seniors facing off against the teachers. And I had never been a really sportsy person, and so there was that insecurity in the first place. I put on my outfit, and I didn't feel like I was dressed sporty enough. I didn't know who I was going to stand by on the field. I was wondering, how am I going to be able to contribute? I would much rather stay at home, like what's the point of going? But I knew from past experience that I could do hard things and that this was going to be good for me. Driving to that baseball game, my heart was racing so fast. I felt like I was probably going to throw up, and that just with one turn of the wheel, I could get myself back home, and all of this, I could avoid it. But I did it. I parked in that parking lot. and got out of the car. And I was welcomed by a few acquaintances and cheered on, like, yeah, the seniors are gonna win. You can do this. And I got through it. Little did I know that I was building a successful past experience, a mastery experience of overcoming those feelings. And that doesn't mean that it was perfect. I felt those feelings and I pushed past them. And then that baseball game just still wasn't fun. It kind of felt pointless to me. I didn't make many social connections like I was hoping to. And I still felt really alone and really isolated. But that started my journey. As I continued my journey, I began to realize that the only model I had for overcoming these struggles with social anxiety was my Savior, Jesus Christ. I didn't see anyone else around me who was struggling with this, and so I believed that if I just had enough faith and I kept living what I knew was true, then this would go away. Like, I don't need any help. I've got Jesus Christ, I can follow him, and it will be good. What I started to realize is that a big tenet of my religious belief is asking for help and receiving support from those around me. And this is the same for any belief in the world. There is strength in numbers. There is strength in shared experience and support in the things that we're weak in. As I started to share my experiences, I realized there are so many people that struggle with the same things that I'm struggling with. The same doubts that I was running through in my brain were felt by others around me, people that I admired, people that I really looked up to, that were successfully just plugging along with these struggles that they faced on a day-to-day basis. And so my self-efficacy increased as I had these people around me to buoy me up. They offered me encouragement too. And this is really helpful up to a point for me, because the point, let me backtrack. So one of my love language, the top ones, is words of affirmation. I can be complimented all day long and I do not feel uncomfortable with it. Just tell me how awesome I am. Tell me how pretty I am. Please, please, please. I love it. Despite that, I know I'm awesome. I know I'm capable. There's this wall in my brain that will stop those thoughts. And that wall feels like a storm of lies about myself. So many questions and so many doubts and so many insecurities and so much comparison to others around me. One experience that helped me to really break down this wall happened on my mission. I served a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Riverside, California. And I was going through a really rough period of my mission. I had completed some therapy sessions before my mission, but felt like that was enough. And I could keep going with what I'd learned. Again, not really reaching out for help like I should have. But this sister was not my companion that I worked with on a daily basis. She was a sister who was tasked with supporting sisters in our area. And I finally got to spend a day with her and tell her about some things that I was experiencing. And as I poured out all of my doubts and all of my perceived failings, her words changed me. She said, "It's okay." And that just felt like a weight lifted off of me. She said, "It's okay if you don't like your companion right now. You have to spend 24 hours of every day with her. You might love her, but you don't have to like her. And it's okay to feel like you're not enough. It's okay to feel a little broken." And I've carried those words with me since then. I've become so much stronger through building confidence and building self-efficacy through doing hard things. And one of these experiences happened just recently, last semester. At SUU, they offer a 1-credit horsemanship class, and I have been so excited to take this class at a time that worked with my schedule, and now was the time. I felt very confident with the help of my teacher during the first weeks of our class. We were learning very basic skills like catching the horse, saddling the horse, cleaning the horse, and mounting that horse, and then we really practiced walking and leading our horse and trotting. And During the second to last week of the semester, she prefaced a new skill that we were going to work on, and she said it in a way that kind of made me wonder, why is she explaining it this way? She said, now the next skill we're learning is loping, and you don't have to do this to pass the class. If you don't feel comfortable doing this, it's okay. So I was a little bit scared, but because I had built up some self-efficacy in that class with positive past experiences, I knew that I could do it. But I had gotten a very stinker of a horse. I do not remember his name, but maybe we can be friends again one day. But that day we were not friends, and he would not listen to what I was trying to tell him to do. And this was particularly stressful because I was learning a new skill. I knew what trotting felt like, and he knew I was trying to ask him to lope. But I didn't know what loping felt like, and so as I rounded that arena and my professor was telling me, okay, get him to do it, like you just got to keep getting on him, all of this confusion welled up inside of me. And finally, as we rounded a corner, he started to lope. He changed from that 2-step gait to a 3-step gait, and it made me feel like I was going to fall out of the saddle. I got scared. I pulled on those reins and made him stop, and I started to cry. And I was a little embarrassed to cry. I had my tough cowgirl boots on, and I knew that from my experiences dealing with self-efficacy, dealing with social anxiety, that it was okay for me to cry. But since I was in that arena, I was walking around and just crying on my saddle, and a song came to mind from my childhood. Cowgirls don't cry. And I had to process my emotions all by myself because that professor was acting a little bit like my dad, a little more worried about my safety than about my emotional state, which is okay because we can be tough in my family. That gave me such a great opportunity to manage negative emotions because I found that power within myself instead of having to rely on others. Even though I had relied on others in the past, now is the time for me to know that it is okay. Cowgirls do cry, but they stay in the saddle and they wait until those illogical feelings are gone and turn towards the logical. At the end of that class, I decided, yes, I will try and lope the next class. I don't have to give up. And I told my professor that saddle was not making me feel safe. Is there a different saddle that we can use? And she said, yes, absolutely. And I also told her that horse is a stinker. Can I please have a different horse so I can learn this skill? She said, yes, we can do that. And so just looking back on all of those experiences thus far, I'm very, very grateful for how much I've grown and for all of the people who have supported me. I know that even though self-efficacy has the word self in it, we're not supposed to do this alone. It is a social behavioral theory, and so we can believe in ourselves, but we have to reach out to others around us to help each other. And I just want to leave you with that assurance that we can do hard things. Thank you.